Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody two-step in the two-step in the yeah. Everybody two-step in the two-step in the everybody get up. Yeah. Can you feel this energy? This is the start of something great. We might be a little late, hey, but at least we're on our way. You got too much time to waste, focusing on what people say. They might not like that we've arrived, but we're here to stay. Leave your sorrow on the table. Pick up your worries and throw them out the window. You don't gotta let your friends know. There's so much trouble to get into. Let go. Let go. Let's go. Let go. I got a.
All right. So I just had to throw that little one on because I love myself some Khalid, and it's all about let's go. All right. So today, we are presenting from Life Passion Academy, our Monday Money Matters. Okay. So we're going to get started with this slideshow, and our topic that we will be discussing is your passion, because we're about to try to find your passion. Okay. So part of this is video, part of this is me. All right. So now, like I said, we are on Monday Money Matters, and we are finding your passion. Okay. Because I found mine. So I'm trying to help everyone else get on that same page and do the darn thing. Now, what we are going to talk about today, the topics of discussion. I always do a little briefy. Who am I? Because I think that's something that you guys should know. And then we're going to talk about your passion, the rewards, and some resources. And I have a couple of tips for you. And like I said, there is a video. So hope you get a lot out of this. All right. So, of course, my name is Tiffany Myers. I'm a wife, mother of four, grandmother of four, owner of three businesses, director of finance for Bossed Up Lead Hers Incorporated, and I'm the senior implementation management analyst, that's a mouthful, of a multi-million dollar corporation. And I'm just going to keep that on the low. Okay. Now, we are talking about what is your passion. And I have a many things that I am passionate about, and I kind of dibble and dabble in all of it. Okay. But it makes me happy and it keeps me going. So we are going to explore what is your passion. What makes you feel alive? What makes you want to get out of the bed in the morning? What makes you want to get out and run for that, do a jog or go to that gym and get your workout, which is Corona. Hope you got a home gym or you're doing your gym exercises at home, because if it makes you feel alive and it makes you feel happy, that's something that is a part of your DNA, and that's your passion. That's something that you just want to get in and go, and there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing it. For those who kind of stuck in I would call it a limbo, you just kind of don't know what you're doing, or you don't know where to go. Or you're just in that dead end job and you're like, I go here because I get paid, it pays the bills, or, I got to take care of my family. But does it make you happy? And do you feel alive? Do you feel like everything that you do makes you want to just I don't know, I want to scream, but it might not be appropriate right now. But, just jump for joy and just be happy about what it is that you're doing. So I have a great speaker, and it's a YouTube video that's going to give you a little tidbits on, you know, some of her past, but also how she came to explore her passion. And these are things that I hope that you can also find a little bit rewarding as well, because everyone has something that they're put on this earth for. And unless you know what that something is, you're kind of lost. You're just going with the flow. Like there's the farmer who leads his sheep out to the field. So everybody's gnawing on the grass and they're doing their thing. And then next thing you know, he sends the sheepdog and he rushes everybody back in. I want to stand out from that sheep. I want to be the little black sheep in the white herd. You know what I mean? So that's what finding your passion is about, is becoming that unique person and doing those things that are catered to you. So I'm going to kind of stop talking about it and let you hear about it from another great speaker.
I am obsessed with transformation, specifically how dreams in the head and heart are transformed into physical reality. For the last 2 decades, I have reverse engineered peak performance behavior and hacked motivation to empower people to transform their lives and their business in honor of their dreams and passions. So whether it's starting a new business or relationship, to building a better brain or body, how many of you out there feel that you have the potential to do something great in life? All right. Well, Marianne Williamson once said, if you feel like you're wasting your life's potential, you are. The truth is, you have far more power over your physical well-being and your impact in life than you give yourself credit for. Now, over the last several years as a documentary filmmaker, I have immersed myself in cultures around the world to see what it takes to really thrive and flourish. What I noticed is, in many cultures, like in the Western world, when we set out in life, most of us are programmed to fit into social norms. In business, we look to the marketplace to compete for better sameness. And when we suffer, physically or emotionally, most of us look outside of ourselves for the cause and the cure. Now, the shift for me came in my final year of medical school when I started the study of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. I learned that people could have heart and brain surgery while awake without anesthesia. Women could deliver their babies painlessly, and people could recover from drug addiction and craving with a few tiny, well-placed needles. I realized there was more to the body and mind than what the American medical system was teaching me. I came to understand that our programmed beliefs about ourselves and our place in the world dictate a large part of our health and happiness, as well as our level of success. Now, the challenge is our concept of self is often inauthentic or weak. To transform what you see on the outside, you've got to transform who you are on the inside. In the next few minutes, I will summarize the soul and science of my work to leave you with 3 vital keys to unlock your potential for transformation. It's a simple prescription, really, one small shift that can yield big results. I'll even tell it to you now. Become who you really are. When you look yourself in the mirror, past the makeup or blemishes, do you ever sense that there's more to you than what you see in your reflection? So who are you, really? When asked, who are you, most people respond with their age, ethnic background, job, or position in life. Why? Because we've all been programmed. The programming of your self-image and how you describe yourselves to others begins in childhood. As author and biologist Bruce Lipton so passionately explains, during the first 6 years of our lives, our brains exist in a hypnotic trance-like state, such that we passively absorb, record, and believe the things that are impressed upon us from the outside world. So from birth, the socialization process shapes our sense of self, identity. And little by little, a social mask is formed, and we behave according to the rules of our family or religion. We adopt the cultural, political, and gender norms that are thrust upon us, causing most of us to lose sight of and compromise who we really are. Now, the sad thing is, most of us end up forcing the unacceptable parts of our personality into the shadows, and we end up masquerading as a half-baked version of ourselves. We embrace the qualities of our peers or the ideals of our parents, all in an attempt to fit in and be accepted. Meanwhile, the authentic, original you, that glimmer you see reflected deep in your eyes, takes a back seat. Often we don't realize who we are meant to be because we're so busy trying to live out someone else's ideas. But what if who you thought you were is wrong? What if by being your most authentic, perfectly imperfect self, you could transform your health and your life while having an extraordinary impact in the world? You know, the challenges that our world faces today, from economic collapse, crumbling political regimes, environmental crises, and global health problems, we need new solutions, not rehashed versions of old thinking. Einstein said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. In 2010, IBM conducted a study of CEOs around the world. 60% of these CEOs said that creativity is the most important leadership quality for success in business. So you see, we need people who will be creative enough to think outside of the box, those who are bold enough to go for their dreams, and those who are free enough to be truly themselves. That's from whence that creative spark of genius often comes. Now, Greek philosopher believed that we have a telos, a purpose or an end toward which we are pointed. And that end is the self. And the best life, says Aristotle, is spent trying to understand what that self is and to become it. And that's what people who want to transform the world need to hear. Become who you are. Now, that's also the title of one of the positive psychology courses I teach here at IUM in the business school. One of the first assignments is to research the class title. Now, many people have heard Become Who You Are, or they've seen it in online social networks, these cute little postcards. Most often the phrase is attributed to Friedrich Nietzsche, but Nietzsche was actually quoting Pindar, the lyric poet. Upon further research, we see that Pindar's line, when accurately translated from the ancient Greek, reads, "Become such as you are, having learnt what that is." So you see, your first key to becoming who you really are is to learn who you really are. So how do you do that? Shift your focus inward. Question your thoughts and beliefs. Seek to rediscover your true self through inquiry, contemplation, yoga, or as Mathieu Ricard said, through meditation. Now, one way that you can see what is truly you and not just programming is to look at your biology. Dr. Robert C. Cloninger from my alma mater, the Washington University School of Medicine, developed the TCI. The TCI is the temperament and character inventory. You take it to learn what your true personality traits are that have come from your family. Those aspects of our personality that are actually transmitted in the DNA. Now, it is a good place to start, but as you've heard today, your biology doesn't limit you. It's just a starting point. Next, look at your positive traits and talents. Now, we all have a variety of strengths, abilities, and resources, but they don't reflect who you are at your core. But your character strengths are those aspects of your personality that make you unique, feel engaged, and actually make you feel like life is worth living. Now, you can learn about your character strengths by taking the happiness, create more flow, and a feeling that what we do in life matters. When you feel that your life has a purpose, you take better care of yourself. You will express yourself more freely, and you really start to feel happy and hopeful. And these positive emotions and optimism go a long way towards setting you up for success, better health, and longevity. In fact, a Dutch men's study found that optimism alone could decrease all types of mortality, and in particular, death from heart disease, as did the Women's Health Initiative. So this type of optimism is critical. I can tell you from personal experience that denying your self-expression can actually lead to depression. For most of my life, I have traveled two parallel paths. By training, I am a scientist, but by passion, I'm an artist. My mother encouraged me to boldly go on stage, on television, and to play music. But it wasn't that she pushed me into the arts. It was our home environment that shaped my decision. Children are to be seen, not heard. This was one of those leftover Victorian ideals from England where my mother grew up. But when I was on stage, I felt free to finally express myself. And by performing, I could naturally get into the zone and that flow state. Now, my father's influence was equally impressive. He told me that only 1 in a million artists can make it in the world, so go to school and get an education. I wanted to keep my father happy, so I sacrificed my biggest passion for performing to become a doctor. And for the most part, I was miserable. So what if the way you've molded yourself or allowed others to shape you was based on false information? If you're always trying to be normal, you'll never know how amazing you can be. And may she rest in peace. Now, during the first 10 years of my medical practice, I discovered that no matter how many acupuncture needles, medications, surgeries, or even psychotherapy given, some people just wouldn't get better. Or worse, they'd get better and then come down with some other illness or addiction. And when I asked why and probed deeper, I discovered that some of them they didn't value their lives, and they didn't even feel that they deserved good health and happiness. And somehow that felt very familiar to me. When we are coerced to be something that we are not, or forced to pursue goals that are not of our own choosing, we often take on the beliefs of others that can literally cause our own self-rejection and self-loathing. Now, I did use my on-camera skills to work successfully with some of the largest media brands in the world. But the persona that we created was not authentically aligned with who I really was. I didn't feel comfortable with my pseudo-celebrity status, and I even started to hide some of my success because I hated the image that we created. I also hid my sadness. Smiling on the cover of magazines and doing talk show interviews, I wore a happy mask, while internally I suffered. Now, that subset of patients that lacked self-love was actually a mirror to what I was experiencing. When we don't utilize or live up to our full potential, we risk becoming hopeless and depressed. We may be functional, but not fulfilled. We may be successful, but not satisfied. To numb our pain, we often overeat, overdrink, overachieve, or shop. But we're not the only ones who suffer in that scenario. We have a profound impact on the people around us, our coworkers, our romantic partners, and especially our children. The very ones who could and should benefit from our unique gifts are deprived of the beauty of our talents. It takes a lot of courage to grow up and become who you really are. This sort of practiced conformity can make it very difficult and even scary to live your truth. Often we're paralyzed by fear or so racked with pain that we feel like we just can't go on. And that's what happened in my case. Now, I don't recommend it, but hitting rock bottom can be a blessing in disguise. Our very own downfall can propel us to new heights of self-expression and self-acceptance. Now, for me, my rock bottom came in 2005 in the form of a dark depression, an existential crisis. And while I don't have the time to share the details, I can tell you that in deep meditation and crying my eyes out before God, I had a near-death-like out-of-body experience that rocked my world, including a life review on the other side, where I understood in a flash how my choices shaped my present life. I got it that we are the ones that should choose who we will be in this lifetime. And we are meant to express ourselves fully. And we are all so totally lovable. In those moments, I experienced the most pure, absolute love for myself and for everything in humanity. Now, following that, I dove into the research of near-death experiences, the neuroscience of consciousness, and even the link between quantum physics and how we manifest our deepest desires. And no matter which perspective appeals to you, it all boils down to this: authentic happiness and total wellness are your natural birthrights. You have a unique purpose to fulfill in this lifetime, even when your role seems small. So your second key to transforming your dreams into reality is to love who you are. From there, you can revive the true self, rewrite your self-description, and rebuild the living temple of your authentic self. Now, the positive psychology research and my own experience shows that there's nothing short of miracles that are available to each and every one of us. From overcoming depression, bouncing back after chemotherapy and cancer, to revolutionary new business ideas. The possibilities are endless. How will you use your potential? Gandhi said, we must be the change we wish to see in the world. So it's no surprise that your third key is to live who you really are. Uncover your dreams and your passions and share them with the world, your ideas, your voice, but most importantly, your presence, because you are a gift to the world. So there you have it. There is my one small idea: become who you really are. First, learn that you are more than your body. You are not the monkey mind. You are more than a present illness or a number on a scale. You're more than your past success or failures. You are an infinite being, full of potential to make a difference in this life, starting with your own. Love yourself, accept yourself, flaws and all. Shine a light on your shadowy parts to integrate and heal them. Embrace your strengths and celebrate your uniqueness. You are lovable just as you are. And finally, live who you really are. You've heard it. Use your talents and your ideas in service to others, because we need you. The world is depending upon it. I will leave you with this. Be yourself, because an original is always worth more than a copy. And that's my idea worth spreading. Thank you.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that presentation, um, because I really, really felt it. And Miss Pennington did her thing. I mean, to me, I would say if you don't value yourself, then you're really not able to value others as well. So never overlook yourself, um, first, because you are what you are. And like she said, at the end of the day, you have to love yourself. You love yourself better than anybody else could. So, yeah, love yourself. All right. So, my tips for an action plan so that you can find your passion, because that's mainly what it's about. And I know this is Money Matters Monday, but at the end of the day, guess what, guys? If you can't love yourself and if you don't have a passion, then there's no money to be made because you're just in a dead end job. You're just doing the, whatever it takes to make the bills and all of those things. But you have to be passionate about it. And those are the things that you will spend your time on, and you'll be happy in it. You'll have a life of longevity because you're not stressed. You're not emotionally declined to, um, just be able to be free even after work, because the next thing you're thinking about is I got to go in again, you know. So shut that revolving door and make it so you're glad to get up in the morning. You're glad to stay up late because you found your passion. Take this time that we are in this quarantine, find out what it is that you really want in your life. And if in my case, let me give you a scenario on that. My passion is to make sure that I can leave a legacy behind for my children. And in order to do that, I also want to be happy. I don't have to be rich, but I want to have a wealth built for them and also for me, because one day I love my job that I do for this multi-million-dollar company. But at the same time, there will be a time where that company has probably said goodbye to me, or I've decided to say goodbye to it. And I want to be able to live comfortably, you know? So my passion is in life is doing the things that I love, spending time with my family, creating the businesses that I have, being involved with this nonprofit. Those are things that are valuable to me and I'm passionate about them. I can get up early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, but I could also stay up late, and I am a night owl. But there are times where I've stayed overnight and I've been up for a full 48 hours, but I'm not tired and I'm excited about what I'm doing. So, you know, you have to find what's good for you. Some people want to say, hey, I only want to work or deal with stuff 4 hours a day and the rest is all me. You know, if that's what your passion is, find what's going to help you get there. You know what I'm saying? Find other things in your life, whether it's reading books, whether it's, creating a business, whether it's, you know, teaching your kids, learning, but bringing them into something that so they have a skill to build on, you know. Um, and then of course you're gonna write it down. Write it down. You're gonna manifest this stuff every day. If you say I'm gonna have a bad day, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a bad day. But if you want to make your day a great day, you wake up in the morning and you say, hey, I'm beautiful. I'm gonna rock this. This is gonna be my day. And you make it your day. Um, Also, there's ways to research how you're gonna, use your passion. Like I said, there are several different things I like to do. I like to travel. I found a job that allows me to travel. I created my own travel agency. I like to travel. So even though it's not something work related, it's something personal, I can do it, which there's not much travel right now. But guess what? When everything starts again, guess where I'll be? Back doing what I love. Okay. And even my travel has not always been going to places. I also take my travel into books. I like nonfiction. I like fiction. I have the audio books. my own personal library. Hey, I travel all the time, whether it's online, in my mind, or laying in my bed, listen to an audiobook. So whatever. Anyway, but make sure whatever you do, you truly become who you are, you love who you are, and you live who you really are. Because at the end of the day, if you're putting on a face, like Ms. Pennington said, if you put on a face to go in and then you're miserable the whole time, it eats at your soul, guys. It eats at your soul. And at the end of the day, you're tired, you're exhausted because you gave your energy to being something that you're not. Be who you are. And you're going to have people that like it and love it. You're going to have people that hate it. You know, you can't please everybody, but you can please yourself. Put yourself first. Become, love, and live who you really are. And on that next note, the tips that I have, they came pretty much from everything that I just said. There's ways you can learn about finding your passion. If you don't know what it is, I suggested a book out there. You know, there's tools online. There's little questionnaires you can ask. Go ask a family member and say, hey, what do you think I'm good at? And if they're honest, they're going to tell you, you know, and it might be something that you didn't realize that you had, you know. And Tracy was telling me the other day that one of the people that she knows was sitting down with her daughter and they started sewing. So they started making masks and all this kind of stuff. And she found out, guess what? She's also crafty. So guess what? That's another thing that she can do. She's built onto that. She's found another passion and she enjoyed doing it. She's doing it with her daughter. Okay. So there's all kinds of ways. Now, I just listed these because resources are everywhere. Online training, courses, too, paid courses, consultants, advisors, do it yourself. That's what I did. And then, of course, books. There are so many helpful books, guys, out there, some free, some paid. Guess what? Do your research. You know, help you help yourself, because at the end of the day, like I said, you have to become you. You have to love you so that you can live you. Okay? Now, to recap, and I've said it over and over again, become who you are, love who you are, and live who you are. To me, that's enough said. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. And as always, it comes from Passion Getaways. That's me, TMCAA Investments. That's to my children, as always, because I invested my entire life to them since day one of birth and entering into my life. Okay. And of course, Bossed Up Lead Hers Incorporated. Guys, this is an outstanding group. If you have not joined the membership, you're missing out on a great, great group. We're going to continue to bring you these little snippets day to day, especially during this time where people have time to come home, relax, unwind, be on Facebook. And if you're not like one of the people that are out there, those emergency responders, those necessary people they say are out there, and you're home all day, take the time, reflect, go back through some of these postings, guys. Soak in some of the information. We have also the tools online. There's some uploads that have been done on this site. If you have a friend, a friend that might need some services further down the line, there's going to be multitudes of things that you can get into, you can get involved in, okay? We also have the girls group. And I don't have that out there yet, but that is Girls Power Up. They have their own website. Guess what? You can join. No cost to anyone. Okay? Your daughter also joins free. So take a post, look at these sites, y'all. And, at the end of the day, I have Tracy. She's actually she's posting those links for you. Guess what? Join up. Oh, by the way, there is a discount code you need to put in, and it's COVID-19. Okay. And also, here's another thing. If you want to promote a business that you have or something that perhaps a friend has, put it on here, guys. We're here to help and support one another, because what else? Who else is going to do it if we don't, right? We're here to help build, grow, learn, and love. And guess what? At the end of the day, Tracy said it best. And let me make sure I get this right, because there's the 3 L's we got going on. We lend, we learned, and we laugh. Okay? So if we can't do those things in this group, and if you can't do things like that in this group, then something's wrong, because I get all 3. So come on, join us. I'm going to repeat that once again, bossedupleadhers.org/membership. Also, girlpowerup.org. And the discount code is COVID-19. Make sure you put it in the box. There's no charge. Get in on this great group, guys. It's awesome. And we're growing. It's awesome. Thank you. And once again, I'm going to leave you with a little tune again from Khalid, because I love him. And let's go.
A blacked out Chevrolet. You don't have a destination. Traveling where the wind will take us. That might be from place to place. I just graduated. I don't have any obligation. So let's have a little fun. Go ahead and drop all the relations. Leave your sorrow on the table.
Hey.
Pick up your worries and throw them out the window.
Throw them out the window,
you don't
y'all.
gotta let your friends know.
Let your friends know.
So much trouble to get into.
Hey, I'm not on that note. Let's go.
Let go.